What is up, guys? Today I'm here with a video of my actual thoughts on the new Samsung Galaxy S9. Before you leave a comment about saying, "Oh Sam, you're an iSheep, aren't you gonna hate the thing?" No, listen, yes, I'm an iSheep, I wear an Apple Watch, I use an iPhone 10, I use an iMac, I use a MacBook, I use all this Apple stuff, but I have had plenty of experiences with Samsung, most recently the Galaxy S7 Edge. This is what made me want to go back to iPhone. I did have an S5 as well, but these are all stories for different times. But guys, I have had experience with Samsung before. I've given them a fair shot. I've spent about $1,500 total on their phones. This one was about $900 and the S5 was $650. Let's go ahead and get started with my actual thoughts on the new Samsung phone. First off, obviously, is the camera. Now, this is the first camera in a smartphone ever to have a dual aperture mode, and if you guys don't know what that means, it pretty much means that the iris in the camera, much like your eye, can be either really wide open or a little bit narrower to change the lighting. This also changes your depth of field. MKBHD did a video explaining it a lot better than I can, but the basic gist of it is a larger f number means less light is going to be hitting the sensor and your depth of field is going to be deeper rather than shallower with a smaller f-stop number. Now, the camera in this is also capable of recording 4K at 60 frames per second, just like the iPhone 10 and the iPhone 8 could do, so they're a little bit late to that, but it also does have dual optical image stabilization like the Note 8 and the iPhone 10. The iPhone 8 Plus does not have that feature at all. There's also a new thing called AR emoji, and this is kind of a little bit stolen from the iPhone 10, in my opinion at least. If you guys don't know what the iPhone 10 does, it does a thing called Animoji, and that's you can pretty much turn yourself into an emoji. Samsung took a little bit of a different approach to it, where you can turn yourself into like an emoji character of yourself, rather than just one of the basic emojis. If you've looked at any of the previews of it, it looks just a little creepy, in my opinion at least. Also, on the topic of the AR emoji, you can send them through their text app to other Galaxy phones, a lot like iMessage on iPhone. That looks strangely like iMessage, I'm not even gonna lie. It is cool that they can do it now, but come on. Come on. Still on the topic of cameras, you can do now live translations in the actual native camera app on this phone. Although I'm pretty sure it is powered by Google Translate, it is still cool to just have that built straight in to the camera app. And the last thing I'm going to touch on with the camera is that super slow motion. It can do 960 frames per second, only for 0.2 seconds though. You can do this either one of two ways. You can manually trigger that high frame rate, or you can frame your shot up so that when there's motion in a certain spot of the frame, it'll start recording at super slow motion. Although it is only for 0.2 seconds, it looks absolutely great for coming off a phone. One of my friends actually picked up one of the Galaxy S9s, and tomorrow I'm going to be messing around with it, hopefully a little bit, and we'll have some video to show you guys next weekend. On to the next part about this phone is security. Instead of now just having the fingerprint sensor right here like the S8 had, it's been moved to underneath the camera, and there's also been upgraded facial recognition, so it can no longer be tricked with just a picture of you. It has that iris scanning from the Note 7, which I thought the S8 already had, but apparently not, but now it's in the S9. So it is definitely a direct competitor to Face ID on the iPhone 10, which I will admit is not that great at all. I really do miss Touch ID, so at least Samsung still gives you that fingerprint scanner right underneath the camera. Third topic here is going to be the speakers. Now, if you guys don't know, iPhone has been doing a thing since the 7 with the speakers. There's a speaker at the bottom, and the earpiece is also used as a speaker. So now Samsung's doing that, which is great, I guess, but it's kind of going off of what the iPhone had been doing since last year, and it also does have a headphone jack still, which at this point it's like, please just drop it, okay? Last up, I'm going to be going over the technical specs of this device. It has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 845 processor, on the Plus and the normal size model. The normal size has 4 GB of RAM, the S9 Plus has 6 GB of RAM. They both have 64 GB of storage with a micro SD slot, which is expandable up to 400 GB, I believe. And the S9 Plus has its dual camera system, and of course the regular S9 just has the one camera, much like the S8 and the 7 and the 6 and everything else before that. So my actual thoughts on this phone. Is it a good phone? Yes. But my past experiences with Samsung phones have not been that great. My S5 lasted about 6 months before it broke, which, yes, it was technically my fault because I dropped it without a case, so then it just kind of went downhill from there. But the S7 Edge, my original one, was not my fault at all. It got that pink line down the right side of the screen. It also got some color separation above the front camera. Back of it got all scratched up just from normal use, some burn-ins, some dead pixels, all that great stuff. And then near the end, the cell radio stopped working, Bluetooth became spotty, Wi-Fi stopped working entirely, and it was just awful. If your experiences with Samsung have been different, this is going to be a great upgrade. I'd say even from the Note 8, if you're getting the S9 Plus, if you're on iPhone, if you're into the Apple ecosystem like I am, I'd say definitely stay with iPhone. Unless you can get both, then do it, but it is a great phone. I will not be getting it, but there you go. So that is going to be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And hopefully on Friday or Saturday there will be some super slow motion videos from the Galaxy S9. So until then, guys, that is going to be it. So thank you for watching.